Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Once again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you back. Today, this is African Zone Motifs. Hit the subscription button. And then we are back today with an unusuality. We have said that we are going to look and anticipate well in this content in grade 8, which is home language. So in this paper, would be dealing in matters pertaining the brain. Just ensure that you care, you are tuned on, and you are also taking some notes in regards. So please ensure wasting any time. Okay. And the importance of the apostrophe is paragraphs, or you are writing language, you must use a no. This is just a typical sign of an apostrophe. And then we have a apostrophe has two uses only. Please bear in mind it has two uses. Here you can see a possess, position of ownership. You show that there is an ownership. But what do we mean in that regard? As we are going on, I would see that number one here, to show the possession form of a noun. And remember, we know very well what is a noun. And we've said that a noun is a name of a person, of a place, of an object. And then we've got varieties now of noun. So we are saying this, it shows the possession of a noun. That is a main important aspect that you need to consider in regard to the use of an apostrophe. Okay, then you can see all singular words. Remember a previous video we were singularity and plurality. We have said that when there is only one word, we are to show that a man's car. Can you see the use of an apostrophe here? It is to show ownership of the what? Of the car, that it is belonging to a man. The second example, the child's toy. So can you see the child? It's a noun here in this regard. And the use of an apostrophe, it is to ensure that it gives position of the what? Of the toy. So we are saying this is the child's toy. And then if we can check very well, we'll see that my uncle's horse is another example. Can you see? There is an apostrophe here. So it shows that the horse belongs to the uncle. I hope that is very clear. We go on again to the other example, the man's dress. It means the dress, it belongs to the woman. So the use of an apostrophe and the additional S, it simplifies to see that this particular product, it is belonging to the woman. The last now example, Princess James. So can you see those? They are showing us the exception of the apostrophe. Okay. So if ever we move on, we'd see that exceptions, Jesus' words, Moses' law for goodness sake. So can you see that those are the these exceptions? If we would move on, let us try to see now and to find out more than one object that ends in S. So we are saying that more than one object. So this one, it is any object that ends in letter S. So let us check. If a word ends in S, is because of it is plural, the singularity and the plural. So we are saying there is toy, which is a singular, and then there is a toys, which represent the plural. What would happen if there is any use of an apostrophe? So we are saying if the word ends with S, is because of is already plural. So that cannot make a what? A use of an apostrophe. Just an example here, we are saying boys, we cannot use therefore an apostrophe and then we are putting an S. That would be wrong. So boys, car, girls, room, the use of the apostrophe will be instituted and then the word will follow. If we are moving on, we would see that if the plural form differs from the singular form, example, child is a what? Children, they are many. An example, man, and men's, that shows the singularity and plurality. And please, which you have posted, you know more about the plural and singular. If we can move on, we'll see that a lifeless object. So these ones they are just object, ordinary object, which it can become a house, a table, and etc. May not show possession. Correct. The keys of the car. Can you see? I highlight this one, underline this one. The keys of the car, not the car keys. Can you see? The windows of the house, not the house's windows. So those are the objections which would use to show that. Moving on, you would see to form certain plurals, exception rule. The S, it would be now an S with a use of an apostrophe, and then we've got a number 2 now, an A, which it can be a small a, and then the use of an apostrophe. For example, let us check here. How many A's do you have? So you see, it shows that there is 2 A's more. There are many A's that they can be available. Okay. And then if ever we are moving on, omission, it is something that is left out. You omit something. So how can therefore we know that there is something that is left out? An example I've just made here, cannot. Can you see? There is cannot. No is taken away. The word no is taken away in its place, apostrophe, and then you just write can't. You cannot, you can apostrophe to ensure that there is omission, something that is left is replaced by an apostrophe, and then the letter T to show omission. I hope that is very clear. And then if we are moving on again, I want us to check properly. Would move on to other aspects. There is direct and indirect speech. So we would say that when we are writing or we are constructing the language part, it is indeed direct speech that is reported, and you know the indirect speech. As you are there at home, in class, wherever you are asking yourself, something that is direct is something that is coming to you. It shows that there is a miss in the direct. This direct speech, we are saying, when we use the actual words of the person speaking, it is something that is direct. You must know that they are what? Actual words, where they're your actual words. And then indirect, when we report what was said by you without using the speaker's exact words. We would see that in articles in the magazines, and then the direct, it is by a direct person uttering those words. So let us see how can we achieve that. And then rewrite steps. I will take you to simple steps in regards to that. What do you do first? Number 1, step 1, start with an apis. Then an example, reporting on a statement. You must report, he said that he won't be available. Can you see? He stated that he can next morning. So those are the directed, and then we are reporting those indirect. So this one, it is indirect. Why we are saying it is indirect? The I for indirect, it is because that was reported on behalf of someone. Reporting on a question, you can see, you can use the words asked, inquired, requested, questioned, and then a reporting command, advised, instead, ordered, and then the reporting on the exclamation, rejoiced. So those are the other aspect that we can see. Okay. When reporting the word please, you can use the phrase example, politely said, politely asked. Okay, so let us see more. Do what? You change the pronoun. A pronoun is a word before a noun, and then the adverbs and the adjectives. We have done that on our previous videos. You can refer adverbs and the adjectives. So we are saying an examples here, pronouns. The first, I want to buy a cake. You see the word I is there. And then the first person would be me. And then my. That is my car. And then the first person would represent a group. We have requested for food. Us. And then our. That it is our duty. So the first person in terms of the pronoun, remember the word pronoun we've said or the noun of a person. So if we are moving on, we can see that we are going to the third person and we are using a he or she would be the third person when you are using an indirect. Him, her, my, his, her, they, them, and be used now as a sense of the third. And then we've got the adjectives and the adverbs of place and time. In direct speech, here we are. That is an example. And then indirect, they were there that time. And then the indirect, this is the situation right now. That was the situation we faced before. That is indirect. Direct, the possibility is now. That was the possibility then, indirect. Today it is our day, in example, direct. And then indirect, that day I followed him until he resides. And then if we are moving on again, yesterday, the previous day was excellent. If we are moving on again, we would see tomorrow is for us. And then in the indirect, if we are moving on, previous week was a disaster. And then the other aspect, that happened a long time ago. And then the indirect speech happened before a time. So these are the typical examples of the direct and indirect speech. Okay. Then we are taking it a step to step so that we can understand very well what we are talking about. And remember, now we are saying that when you are reporting a direct, it is your words that you are using, and then indirect, it is when somebody is reporting on your behalf. You are reporting the tense, the past tense, and the present tense will change, and how that quotation mark are written one step back in the past when they are converted into indirect speech. For example, direct speech. Tsirifatso said, I will always love Trevor. Can you see? That is direct. You are reporting direct. The words which she stated. Tsirifatso Trevor. And then the indirect speech now would come where this would change. What is going to change? Number one, Tsirifatso said that. Then you are putting a she. Why a she? Because of now you are changing the pronoun. And we have said that the pronoun is a word before love, Cindy. It would be inserted. Why? You change the tense of the verb. The tense would be changed. That is the question that we can see. And mostly importantly, let us ensure that we are taking notes, our peers in class, and let us ensure that we are doing the exercises on the comment section. We are showing courage, okay? And then under the direct and the indirect exercise, this is in the direct speech, change them to the indirect speech. So this is a direct. He said, I have got a toothache. This is what is direct. You can see he said, I have got a toothache. He said that he would have a toothache. So let us ensure that these are the questions which they are direct. They would be answers pertaining to these questions. For me and my crew, much for tuning on and ensure that you are subscribing. Let the light shine.